QB2, and there's a recency bias. You look at the last couple of drafts, second quarterback taken overall in the draft, QB2's been really good. And here's the list. So Jaden Daniels went second last year. We know what he's done. C.J. Stroud, he's been really good. 2020, that was a much deeper quarterback class, but Tua, Justin Herbert, Lloyd, or Love rather. 2017, Patrick Mahomes was QB2 behind Mitchell Trubisky. Deshaun Watson was QB3. In 2025, it was Aaron Rodgers. Now, Alex Smith went number 1 overall, and Jason Campbell won a spot after Rodgers. 2024, Eli Manning. You had Phillip Rivers and Ben Roethlisberger. So those are pretty good quarterback twos, right?
Absolutely.
If any of those were in the draft, you'd want them, right? Is that accurate?
Oh, look, if the guy was there, and I think the thing, and like so many people come to me, well, you need the quarterback, you take the quarterback. Usually what my response is, did you buy a house? And, first thing, well, I have a house. Yeah. Well, did you have it inspected? Did you look at other houses? What did we just spend 3 months, doing, a college football season, postseason all-star games, a combine, and all this is going to die down Friday, when everybody heads out to Colorado to finally see Hunter and certainly Sanders, work out, as we'll be at that point less than 3 weeks away from the beginning of the draft. But there's a reason you do all of this. And look, the biggest thing for me, and look, it's not a size thing. And, I could live with the fact that, Shedeur Sanders' athleticism probably translates more to a quarterback from 10 years ago than one that's going to play in 2025. A lot of it for me, and everybody's the decision-making. Well, when you take horrible sacks and you go from third and eight to 4th and 23, I don't know how you say great decision-making. That is poor decision-making, in my opinion. And, in those instances, you do everything you can to throw the ball into the third row and save your team 15 yards of field position. I don't know how that improves. Yes, he will have better offensive line play in the NFL than he did at Colorado. But in the same respect, the guys chasing after him in the NFL are going to be a hell of a lot better than the guys who were rushing the passer in the Big 12. I think the situation needs to be right for him. And the amount of upheaval that is going to go on with the Cleveland Browns offense starting this draft and all the way through 2026 offseason and the 2026 draft, you don't know what any of it's going to look like. So putting the quarterback in there first, you better damn well make sure he is the guy. And if you have any certain concerns whatsoever, then you know what? Let's get a quarterback this year. We'll get a quarterback next year as well. And hopefully somehow, some way between two, it answers the question of who is one.
All right, so those were success stories of QB2 in the draft. Here are the much, much, much more buyer beware, and there are significant ones. You like Desmond Ridder? He was the second quarterback taken in 2022. How about Zach Wilson? He went 2 overall in 2021. Trey Lance went 3. Justin Fields went 11. You a Daniel Jones fan? He was the second quarterback taken in 2019. 2018 was loaded, and the second quarterback was Sam Darnold. Third quarterback was pretty good. Fourth quarterback was Josh Rosen. Fifth quarterback taken in 2018 was really good, Lamar Jackson. Carson Wentz in 2016. 2015 should scare you. Jameis Winston went 1. Marcus Mariota, 2 overall. Garrett Grayson was the third quarterback taken. 2014, Johnny Manziel was the second quarterback taken. You did get Teddy Bridgewater end of the first round, Derek Carr in the second round. Geno Smith in the second round was the second quarterback taken in 2013. Robert Griffin III was QB2 in 2012. Had a couple of good years. Ryan Tannehill was the third quarterback taken. 2011 should scare people. Jake Locker was the second quarterback taken. You also had Blaine Gabbert, Christian Ponder. I didn't leave anybody out of the first round there, guys. Tim Tebow was the second quarterback taken in 2010. Mark Sanchez, butt fumble guy, in 2009. And Josh Freeman. We're not done yet. I guess we should have put Joe Flacco in the success stories. He was the second one taken in 2008. Brady Quinn, ahead of right behind Jamarcus Russell in 2007. Matt Leinart, Byron Leftwich, 2002. Joey Harrington was the second quarterback taken, number 3 overall. If you at 81, you could have got Josh McCown, who was playing for like 13, 14 years. Bottom line is, second quarterbacks in drafts, what has happened the last 2 years is an anomaly. It doesn't usually happen like that.
And the other thing is, and we're talking about the way the quarterback is handled now. I mean, you go back some of those, years, you go back 15, 18 years, you drafted a quarterback, even second quarterback taken, you drafted him in the first round, you were giving him a lot more slack, a lot more rope. It doesn't work that way in the league now. Owners don't care. If you're not getting it done, they'll pay you, they'll fire you, you're gone, which means most likely, the quarterback that they drafted is usually the reason they got fired. Means the quarterback, even if he survives another season, he's now under a new regime. Obviously, have to deal with roster turnover, which you're always going to get when one regime leaves and one regime comes in. The point of this is making sure, and I think basically the whole point of this study that you guys just put up with, who the second overall quarterback taken is, it is not always so much about the quarterback himself as it is about the situation he is going into. Look, some of those guys that were listed there who turned out to be guys who did not make it in the league, they came in with beautiful profiles, great profiles. But you need so many things to click and all work for that quarterback selection to be successful. Sometimes it's okay if you say, hey, he's not the guy. And I've said this a couple of times now, and I'll continue to say it. The Browns just spent, 6 weeks, 2 months, establishing that they think Cam Ward is the best quarterback in the draft. So basically, you're listing one's positive, and then you're listing the other one's deficiencies. You're trying to find out which one's better. So how do you say that, Cam Ward is the best quarterback in this class? And again, all right, well, then we're going to take Sanders at 2. Well, why? We just spent all this time telling you why he's not as good as Cam Ward. So, but now all of a sudden he's good enough to just be the next guy taken. It's okay to understand the value of the number 2 pick in the draft. And look, you can't blow the number 2 pick in the draft. You better get a guy who can contribute. And I think there's just other avenues that could be more successful for this franchise, with this investment. And got to keep in mind, they haven't drafted this high in 3 years. You better bank on this pick hitting.